What makes a city endearing? Among many things, street markets are a unique feature of all cities. The small shops selling trinkets, clothes, and local delicacies add life and character to any city, big or small. Over the decades, these street markets have become ubiquitous features of Indian urban landscapes. Despite this, hawking remains ambivalent in legal and urban planning spaces. Even if there is a law, street hawkers and vendors often face the ire of state governments, urban planners, and municipalities. Random eviction drives and police excesses are common in almost all the cities in India, including Shillong, which is a growing urban space in the beautiful East Khasi Hills. In Shillong, street hawkers and vendors have faced the state government's high-handedness time and again. After 6 years of their struggle, in 2022, the state government decided to scrap the Meghalaya Vending Act and implement the central law. This meant that the street vendors would have had more representation in the town vending committee had the central law been implemented in letter and spirit. However, the state government delayed formulating rules. This was despite the fact that the Vendors Association in Shillong submitted draft rules to the state government several times. Meanwhile, street hawkers and vendors have been blamed for many drawbacks in urban planning in Shillong. For instance, they have been blamed for congesting city roads and stalling traffic. That is a different story that the state government does not have any rule in place to penalize its citizens who park their private vehicles along roads. Rows of vehicles parked on roadsides are a common sight in Shillong. Lower Lashumer, where most of the government offices are located, remains chock-a-block every day in the morning and early evening. There are no vendors there. So, who should the government blame for the mismanagement of traffic? Instead of setting rules to not allow registration of a new vehicle without checking parking space, the state government continued to blame the street hawkers. This was convenient as well as a way to fool the citizens. On another occasion, street vendors at Police Bazaar were blamed for delaying fire control services on Thana Road about 2 years ago. Media reports parroted the government's statements and blamed the street hawkers and vendors. None mentioned that the fire could have killed one of the street vendors. Instead of getting into the blame game, it should have been questioned whether the government carried out frequent fire safety checks in the buildings at Police Bazaar, which is a congested locality. The owners of these buildings should also have been questioned whether they took enough measures to fight any fire-related incident. But none was done. Instead, the hawkers were blamed. What's more, the blame game aside, the state government can be questioned on many counts. Recently, the state government started an eviction drive at Khyndailad or Police Bazaar. The entire Khyndailad has been declared no vending zone. One reason for this drive is decongesting the area. But why did the traffic police allow plying of vehicles on the precinct at Police Bazaar in the first place? Okay, even if vendors are removed from the area, will the place be decongested? One who is aware of Shillong's traffic problems and one who is aware of the cops' measures so far, one can confidently say no. Besides such whims, there are other issues for which the government should be questioned. The Town Vending Committee, which has been formed following the central law, is a provisional one. As per the central law, the Town Vending Committee should have at least 40% of representation from the hawker's side. However, this rule has been flouted. At present, the committee has barely 24% of representation from the vendor's side. The alternative space that the government is offering the Khyndailad street vendors lacks basic amenities like drinking water and toilets. Earlier, the Meghalaya and Greater Shillong Progressive Hawkers and Street Vendors Association approached the government saying that they would work collaboratively to construct and plan the space. In fact, they already submitted a draft plan to the government after consulting experts in Sikkim and Bangalore. Then why did the government start constructing the space without even their consent? Why hasn't the government submitted any cost for the construction to the committee? Why is the government showing its high-handedness instead of working in cooperation with the Vendors Association? This not only shows the state government's blatant disregard for the central rule, but also for human rights. Such clandestine behavior of the state government also raises more questions. For instance, why did the government continue issuing vending certificates when the Vendors Association flagged the problem that there were anomalies in the process of issuing certificates? The case of the hawkers is now in the High Court of Meghalaya, and the court has appointed a special officer to look into the Khyndailad relocation issue. While the special officer has got time till August 5 to look into this issue, why is the state government in a tearing hurry to finish off this relocation process by July 22nd? The Meghalaya government, rather than adopting an imperious attitude towards the street hawkers, should work in collaboration with the Vendors Association in Shillong. Instead of showing its high-handedness, it should engage in dialogues. A proper survey should be conducted before issuing vending certificates. Having observed the city, the best solution would be a non-chaotic space for the street vendors and free movement of pedestrians. This will ensure a semblance of beauty and order in Shillong and its marketplaces.